Oh, good afternoon and welcome back to Hamilton 1, Rangers 1, and a disappointment performance at Hamilton. Join myself, Fox, here on the panel is my mate Fox. Thoughts, Fox?
A very lackluster display. We were like a car with a bit flat battery. Just couldn't turn anything over to get it started. Poor passing, poor movement. I thought we were bullied out the game. From start to finish. It was only when Steve Davis and Ryan Jack came on we began to look at like our real self. I thought the manager got it wrong for the start. I know people will say, well, the team he put out was good enough to beat Hamilton, but as it shows, we got exactly what we deserved out the game, and that was a draw.
Maybe we were the peace, mate, with the saves at McGregor. Mate, we didn't deserve a draw, if I'm being really honest, if you were in it. Yeah,
aye.
By far the better chances, mate. By far the better chances. I thought Zungu done okay, and when I say I done okay, I'm not talking about 7, 8, 9 out of 10, but I thought the whole team were disappointment. I thought Kent and Hadji in the wide areas were poor. I thought our two fullbacks were poor. I don't know how windy it was there, if it affected the football players, but decision making at times was poor. I couldn't understand the substitution. Roofer hitting and less hitting it the knock when he had that head knock when the boy caught him on the head with his thigh, mate. But I thought he was doing okay as well. I'd maybe brought Roof on, but it wouldn't have been for hitting, you know. But that's just my thoughts. Right, okay. I think people might want to hear the stuff, Fox. So what's the number?
Number is 0141 356 1972.
Yeah, Hamilton got more shots in target than we did with the pace. I think it just shows you if you don't get with the right attitude, you can get out muscled and out battled in any game of football, Fox.
Aye, without a doubt. I know it's after the event and we're looking back on the game now, but surely you always start your strongest team, get the result secured, and then change the players on the pitch to give them a run out. I thought it was poor for the start. Right for watching them coming out for the start of the game, also when they were all stoned and freezing in that side of the stand, I'm saying, oh, this doesn't look good. But we didn't ever get into the game. The only spark was Joe Aribo's turn about 34 minutes when he hit a good curling shot that failed to turn enough to go into the goal. But that was our sole effort in the first half, and I was really, really disappointing.
Aye, I don't know if Kent's void a bit of void of confidence, Fox, when he seems to isolate people when he's 1-on-1, but big centre half, so no drive and taking them on, you know. There was one in the first half when the boss spun to him and he should have ran through and he came to the right and I don't know if he crossed it or had a shot. Look, I don't want to blame any individuals. For me, that was a poor team performance, Fox.
It was. We've had a lot of good games this season, and it's usually games like this that turn up the real, what's the right word for it? The real shock of the day. A team struggling at the bottom of the league. We think we're going to go there and comfortably win, and we end up being the poorer of the two sides.
Aye, we were. I think we were. Maybe the poorer of the two sides. Well, put it this way, I think they had more efforts at goals than us. Anyway, people want to join us. What's the number, Fox?
0141 356 1972.
Join us at Skype at rangersradio.online. We've brought.
Will you be brought into the call by Old School Blue? Anyway, I think we have.
We've been joined by a caller. We've been joined by Lackey. Hello, Lackey.
Hi there, how you doing, guys?
How we doing, mate? All right?
Yeah, I think 9 o'clock wouldn't be late enough for what I've got to say about that performance.
We're waiting.
Hello?
We're waiting.
Hello?
We're waiting on you.
Can you not hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Aye.
Right. Carry on. Floor's yours.
Right. What I'm saying is, 9 o'clock tonight wouldn't be late enough for what I've got to say about that performance.
Right, well, hurry up. Get it off your chest.
Get it off my chest with that rank rotten.
Here, mate. Here. Poor from start to finish. Yeah?
And Zungu, I don't know how he got a game.
He didn't have a great game, mate. He played a lot of sideways balls, neat and tidy, nothing penetrative. It was just a poor team performance.
Kent wasn't good either.
No, I don't think there was. The only guy who, in my opinion, that can pass marks was Alan McGregor.
Aye. No wonder he was gutted at the end.
Aye, he was. Aye. Where was the cover? Where was the thoughts at the time of the game to get people there covering? Where was Tav when Davis is getting back in the right back position? There were so much questions. What was Kent doing when we were trying to play out the game? Decides to dribble and give the ball away when we're just finishing the game down in the park. Just small things that cost you points. You know, Lackey?
It was a shocking performance. Shocking.
Yeah. I hope they've learned a lot from that. If you don't go with the right attitude, Fox, you get what you deserve.
That's correct. I just think it was one of the days we weren't at the races. We couldn't find strike two passes together in the first half. I thought we were absolutely shocking. I don't know if it was the underfoot conditions, the wind, or the players were just freezing cold. But as I say, we never go out of first gear the whole game, bar a wee 15-minute spell late on in the game when the substitutions were made. I was the same as you. I thought Ryan Kent was very poor, produced nothing. His final ball was shocking when he did get a chance to do it. Johannes Sahaji roamed about but never produced anything either. Itten was totally mastered by the boy Martin. The boy Martin at the back who bullied him out the game mostly. In the midfield never clicked at all. I thought Goldson was good. Alander was poor at the goal. He get drawn towards the ball.
A minute, Fox, will cut across you. Listen, caller, you've got the show on in the background. Can you turn it off, please?
Aye, no bother.
Aye.
Carry on.
Right.
You're with us, what's your name, mate?
It's Alex Scotland.
How we doing, Alan? How we doing?
Not bad.
First time caller?
Right. I sad watched that game, mate. Fair dues, we were poor. But I'm not going to slag off Hamilton or Rangers because Hamilton well deserved that game.
Oh, Hamilton arguably with a better team, mate.
Definitely a better team, mate. I don't know what happened with us. I thought we just went out there to off. It's Hamilton. They'll be poor. They were brilliant. If Hamilton played like that every week, they wouldn't beat the Bottom League.
That's a fair comment, Lucky, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, Al McGregor saved us, really. If we played the way we could play, Hamilton wouldn't have just snuffed. No. It was, I don't know. Guess what? Stolen away at 55, my man. So
it's disappointing.
Definitely has to be a bottom one a couple of points. No, anything yet. I mean, against Hamilton, fair dues, but listen, I'm not going to give Hamilton any bad things because they've done their job. They came out and done a right good thing against Rangers there.
I'll tell you what they done. It looked to me they played a 3-5-2 Fox.
Oh, I don't know what they were playing. It was just
they played a 3-5-2 and they tried not to give us any room to pass the ball about the back, which was highlighted when Hollander get caught on the ball in the first half, Fox.
Aye, I mean, what got me at the end of the game, they really didn't come up and tell you how many minutes extra time was on.
4.
Oh, that was on Sky Sports.
They said on the commentary there was 4 minutes to go.
Oh, right. I never heard that.
Fox, that's what they done, wasn't it? They pushed the boys up, tried to stop us playing.
Aye.
Let Fox come in, Fox.
Aye, they pressed us for the start, very high up the park. Hodgson on one side, McMahon on the other, Stoke Tav and Barisic getting forward. They then filled the midfield, the boys, Trafford and I think it was Offen, shut down the midfield, and we never got anywhere in the first half apart from that Joe Aribo effort. It was a poor display in a season full of brilliant games, and we just need to mark this off as a one-off and move on.
Right, I'll agree.
I've got to say that by far, by a distance, Alan McGregor was your man of the match.
Oh, he was a saver. That was a defo. Anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your show and God bless.
Nice to speak to you, Alan. Cheers, mate.
No problem. Thanks a lot, bud.
Hello.
Hello, mate. We've been joined by another caller. Afternoon caller. What's your name?
It's Ian.
How we doing, Ian? What's on your mind, Ian?
Oh, just a wee bit gutted today. I'll tell you, Alan McGregor saved us for getting humiliated with the league at the bottom of the table. A team at the bottom of the table. That was a terrible performance, wasn't it?
It was, from start to finish, it was very, very average, mate, to say the least.
Aye. I think the only one I would say ticked a box for me today was Alan McGregor. I said, you certainly, they should have been 3-0 up.
They had chances.
They definitely had chances.
Game, aye.
Aye, definitely. As I say, I took a draw, but midway through the second half, I was like, blow the whistle, I'll take the point. And even at that, it was an OG in the end up we got. Hopefully this is down to a one-off. I would like to think it's a one-off, and we can progress, because we can't afford to start doing that at this time of the season.
No, I think there's a big learning curve. I'm with Fox. I mean, you want us to come in and encourage, but Stephen Davis, Ryan Jack, maybe should be playing there. And obviously, I don't know what you think yourself, mate. We're missing Morelos. I know he's suspended, but we're missing him.
I think they're missing Morelos. As for the Jack and the Davis thing, I don't think he's keen on playing Davis at that surface, or Jack, is he?
Potentially, mate. You might be right there, but that 3 points is as important as any other 3 points, yeah?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you get people on parting up with score predictions. 4, 5, 6, 9. What you've got to remember, these teams are dangerous, and they're fighting for survival in that league.
Ian, can I cut across you? We've got a caller coming in for France.
Aye, no bother, mate.
France, I think. How we doing, caller?
Aye, mate. I'm as a Jock Fusey guy, a Rangers fan, living in France, mate. Just watched the game, listening to your radio show. I just thought I'd ring in and put my wee couple of pennies worth in.
Go on then.
You know what I mean?
Aye, mate.
I've been following these guys for a wee while now, just saying it's come up on my Rangers stuff, like,
Right.
So just bring up, talk about the game, but how we're doing this year since Christmas. Like last year, obviously, with the collapse, and this year we're sort of, how do you say, we're hanging in there. And the day Hamilton well deserved their draw. Actually, they should have beat us about 3-1 for 1, you know what I mean? But no, we just thought I'd be a wee ring in just to say you got supporters in France as well, listening to you know what I mean? But no, so just to bring up to see what people thought in Glasgow about Rangers, because I think with European games coming up soon, I think we've got to sort of get our heads out of bums, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Whereabouts in France are you, mate?
I'm in Brittany, mate.
All right, Brittany. All right, lovely part of the world, mate. Lovely part of the world.
Oh, definitely, you know what I mean? A bit dodgy today, then we've not the same snow as you guys have had, you know what I mean? Just a bit of rain and stuff, you know what I mean?
You'll be all right in a few weeks. We never caught your name when you come on. What was your name, mate?
Well, it's Jock. Jock Fusey.
Jock. All right, Jock.
No, as a Jock, I'm ex-military, mate. I'm ex-Air Force. Right. My real name is Paul, but I didn't like Paul. It was a bit too much a carrier name. And as all the forces guys, when you join the forces and that, Jock's easy, because then anything you get to shit, they say Jock did it, and they say, we'll win, didn't it? And they never know who it was. So it's just stuck, you know what I mean, after all the years in the first 15 years in the forces, mate, you know what I mean? So And then ended up over here, you know what I mean? But for the Bears of my life, you know what I mean? 56 now, you know what I mean? But for the boys of my life, you know what I mean? So, as you do, once a bear, always a bear, man, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Fox, might be our first caller for France, eh?
We?
So when? Yeah, for France, aye.
First ever caller for France, there you go, Fox.
Well, there you go, you know what I mean? All right, mate, how you doing, boys?
Aye, okay, Jock. How are you enjoying living in France?
Aye, they do all right, mate, you know what I mean? They watch all the games. I've actually recruited quite a few of the locals in the Rangers, you know what I mean? Because my local team's Rennes, I normally from Rennes, and doing a few games against Celtic, which was pretty good with my Rangers scarf on and the Rennes end, which opened up a few eyes, obviously, you know what I mean? You know? But no. I just saw the past we were just logged into your radio station, quite chuffed with it, you know what I mean? You know, so when I see the number, because a lot of numbers go, which is it's a normal phone number, so I can ring it for France, you know what I mean? So I just thought I'd ring up a wee bit input into after the game of the day, you know what I mean? That's all, you know.
Wasn't it a great game for us, Jock? Was it? Did he play well?
The thing is, though, that last year after Dubai, we sort of collapsed. And I think since Christmas, we sort of went fucking downhill again, but we've got away with it. You know what I mean? 1-0 here, 1-0 there, you know? And certain stuff, it's even like acting, you know what I mean? It's like a Motherwell game. Watch Motherwell game, I put the crosses in the box all the time. And as soon as they brought it on, they didn't put any crosses in the box. I think they put 2 crosses in there after he came on. But I don't know, it's like just slacking a bit, I think, Rangers at the minute, you know what I mean?
Aye.
Maybe,
you
know, it's sort of like, get a bit worried with Europe coming up again, you know what I mean? But then again, seeing that, different type of football, different type of stuff, you know what I mean? So, like, say, Rangers is an OG, but then again, hats off to Hamilton. Just a pity, actually, the boys, I quite like Hamilton anyway, you know what I mean? I don't want them to beat us, I do really want them to go down, you know? Because I'm a reserve for Easterers, you know what I mean? So I come for the East End anyway, you know what I mean? But, you know, I was like, you know, I want Hamilton to stay up, you know what I mean? But I didn't want them to beat us, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I really still get the lead, you know what I mean? But, you know, it's just a fact of, like, I would rather win it at Parkhead, so just hope they drop a couple of points and win the league at Parkhead, you know what I mean?
All right,
you know,
listen, Jock, it's great to hear from you, mate, yeah?
I'm not bothered about it, you know what I mean? If I can't go in there, it don't matter. I just thought I'd ring up and give your boys my support, that, you know what I mean?
You keep phoning in. It's great to hear from people from all over the world, mate. We really appreciate
it. Well, just good to show you that the channel's growing, mate. You know what I mean? So this is it, you know. This is it. The old social media are getting things popping up, and I listened to your show before the game, which was pretty good. You know, so no. That's off to you guys, and just keep in there, and just keep the flag flying. You know what I mean? But hopefully, when they ain't seen that, I don't want to jinx the league, so we'll just fucking wait, take each game at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and then the Red Arrows, well, I think we wait until the fans come in. Once you get the fans back, the Red Arrows fly past, you know what I mean? That'd be cool. You know what I mean? Right. But I don't need to do that as well, you know what I mean, for you, you know what I mean? But anyway, guys, right, so I'll let you go on your show and all that, you know what I mean? But tell the boys to give me a shout out on the radio. That'd be cool, okay?
Jock, what did you say you were? Bordeaux?
Jock.
Bordeaux? Brittany.
And Brittany, aye. Next to Rennes. Near Rennes.
Right, Jock. You look after yourself.
Okay, man. Right. All the best, guys.
Brilliant. Jock and Brittany, yeah? That was one of yours ambitions, wasn't it? Jock and Brittany, but it was with Spears. Right, okay. Foxy boy. Right, where are we? Right. So, we draw a game. We've got to watch it. We don't overreact, but nobody can come on and say we played well. Lackey?
No, mate. That's the team that took on Benfica, mate.
Aye, it's hard to believe, isn't it?
Aye, you know what I mean?
Aye, you've got to go in with the right attitude. Yeah.
We've no lost anything up, sorry, but mate. They've not lost anything, but that was hard.
Lost 2 points.
But they've not lost a league.
No.
Hey, listen, mate, we start putting performances in against struggling teams, man. Don't you be surprised. You've got to remember, your next games are against teams that are struggling for survival. This is my concern.
We'll go to get the 3 points. Anyway, we've been joined by Kenny. How are we doing, Kenny?
Good afternoon, guys. A wee bit disappointed, obviously, with the result, you know. But to me, that game of the day, there was so many similarities between the cup defeat in the day and the cup defeat we actually played better. Zunga, no, I just don't feel the guy's going to make the grade at Rangers. He's passing. There was no penetration in that midfield whatsoever today. When you've seen the difference when Jack and Davis come on near the end, you know, you had that penetration in midfield, the killer passes. Zingo's not got that in him. And that's why I don't think he'll make the grade at Rangers. Also, my full-backs today, Tavernier, it's the second half. 2 or 3 times he passed the ball directly to the Hamilton player in bad positions. Bonner, his crosses at times today I thought were terrible. So I rallied him back in the last 10-15 minutes. Overall, it was a really disappointing performance.
I find it hard to argue with any of that, mate. I thought our fullbacks weren't great.
But shocking.
Apart from McGregor, mate, I didn't give anybody in your team pass marks, mate. I didn't think the starting 11. And Zunga, I thought was in the first half. I thought he was slightly better than Kamara, but he wasn't great neither, you know.
No. I mean, you go back to the cup defeat, you know. I mean, that night, Zunga watching again that night, and I thought he was terrible that night. He was barely out of the game. He took the early booking right enough, you know, and that he had a chance again today, and it's so similar to me today. But we did play better in the cup game. That's how bad Rangers were today. And I don't know what's happened to Barisic and Tavernier. You know, they're at an earlier form for a couple of months back. They're just a wee bit off the boil for my liking, you know.
But a theory on that, mate. Fox has got a theory where the other teams are setting up to stop them. Fox.
I do think that the teams are setting up to block the runs of both Borna and Tav, but can I just go back to the Zunga point? I don't think we can blame Zunga for the way we played today. I thought he done all right. I think the failure was Aribo and Kamara, who have been 2 of our better players all season, just never kicked the ball all day. And when your midfield doesn't work, or the engine room doesn't work, it's hard to go forward, and that's what we found the problem today was. We ended up pushing it long for the back. Hamilton have 3 central defenders who mopped up everything, and it was a failure in the engine room that caused us to play the way we played today.
I don't just think that as well. I thought Hadji and Kent were non-existent, mate. The runs, they were that deep, they were never going to influence the play because there's too many legs about them. Sometimes you've got to go long, which we've seen in I think in the first minute of the first half, second half, Fox, where I can't remember who played the pass to Kent and made a chance. So I think this always gone short, mate, and teams were pushing up, and you've got to spin in behind them, you know, and maybe you would argue, Fox, that the midfield should have been in turning our play. But when you looked at times, we were only playing with one up front. There was nobody within yards of them.
But it was the failure of the midfield to get forward and support the 3 front players was our problem. They sat off the ball, so our defenders had to go long with the ball, and the 3 centre backs at Hamilton had them covered all the time, and just forced the ball away from them all the time. It was just a misfiring show today altogether, and it was a sad exhibition of football for Rangers. And another thing that disturbed me was that was prime time on Sky TV. People all over this country watching us playing that was a big disappointment to me as well.
Yeah. I get where you're coming from. Alan, why come in, mate? Oh, we lost him. And you come, Kenny?
Getting to the end of the game, right? We're 1-0 up, right? And me and my daughter watching it, I said, right, let's manage this game out here. And they did start getting the ball about, and then they decide to go and try and get the second goal. They're screaming. It only takes a second to score a goal, and I'm like, just keep the ball in and about the box, the corner flag and that, and they were doing that. And then I can't remember if it was Roof trying to play it or whatever, and then they've got the chance to get the ball in the park, and then what happens? Davis is caught to the right side of the player, and I knew it right away. It was just the way this game was going. The boys in the net.
All right,
so disappointed.
John McCarroll, afternoon, Cairo.
Good afternoon, how you doing?
For better Sundays.
Better Sundays myself. That was atrocious. That old failings back with us again. We just didn't kill. We were lucky to get a goal, and then we don't strengthen ourselves up a wee bit and play the game out. The passing is atrocious at times. There's just something missing there. Because I've said it for ages, and I thought we'd lost it there, but I thought we'd get that wee sort of a testicular fortitude back and that sort of thing. But it's moments like this and games like these where you need that wee bit grit, that wee bit something different to hang on. When you're playing against a team that's just wantonly kicking you about the place with impunity, you need something. We started the second half pretty good, and we started to hold the ball. Then this, I don't know what happens there. I don't know, somebody must have a switch and turned something off in their boots. They can't pass a ball to each other. It's ludicrous. I don't know how you can switch like that so quick. Poor game. We're playing on a poor surface with a referee that gives them licence to come through the back of his hitting about 5 times. The guy come right through the back of him. Not a thing. They get shoved. They get shoved with both hands in the first half in the penalty box, and Madden gave them a foul. I just didn't see that at all. So there's a lot to it, but when you're in these types of games, there's definitely something in the mentality that's missing at Ibrox. That steel, that grit, that wee thing that says we're playing bad, we're not doing well, let's hang on, hold the ball and do something different. And as for Stephen Gerrard switching as many players, I think that could be a bit of a problem. We've seen it against St Mirren's, changing as many players. So a whole combination of things there the day. Bad pack, referee allowing them to take lumps at us. They were one of the times, I think one of our players breathed in them, and then the guy went out and he got a free kick. It's just ludicrous. I think the worst example is their number 16. I don't know his name, but he was allowed to. How many fouls did that boy commit? So there's it's a game we probably would have lost last year. So there's a bit better. But it's just every now and again it comes through this lack of.
Listen, Carol, let's be really honest. If it wasn't for Alan McGregor, he could have been looking at a defeat.
Absolutely.
Unless if we lost a goal, it might have spurred us into action. But they had the best chances.
I mean, five minutes to go, and we're making terrible passes. I don't like pick out Tavernier. It wasn't just Tavernier. Kent made a couple of bad passes as well.
Hello.
Tavernier passed the ball against folks' legs 3 or 4 times in the last 5 minutes. He's trying to pass the ball, and it just hit after. It was poor. It was a bit bad at the office, but we should have been playing the game.
How we doing, caller?
How's it going, lad?
Somebody's got something in the background on the phone. Can you either hang up or put your phone on mute? Right, carry on. What's your name, mate?
It's Tam, buddy. How's it going?
All right, Tam. What's on your mind?
Oh, where do we start with that, lads? Where do we start?
The team selection, mate. Team selection.
The whole everything about it. I mean, that's just like the team I've been watching the last couple of days. The last couple of weeks.
You're awful quiet. Tam. Right, we've got there. We'll bring Tam back in a second. Fox, we're getting a lot of noise for the phone lines there, mate.
Aye, it was getting annoying, mate. Just something that going on in the background there.
Aye.
Look, we've got to be realistic. This is but 20 minutes after the game has finished and we're all being highly critical. This has been a great season for Rangers. We've had a blip today and failed to win. But again, we've no lost. So I think although everybody's quite right to come on and have a go at the team.
Get voicemail.
On the performance, Fox. On the performance.
Aye, on the performance. Aye, I know, but we're all a wee bit upset probably because we dropped 2 points that we never expected to drop. And we've got to look at the big picture and the overhaul of the season, and so far we've nothing to complain about, for me anyway.
No, but I understand people's annoyance in the day with that performance. If you isolate that 90 minutes, mate, Hamilton are a better team.
Hamilton deserved their point, if not to win the game today. But at the end of the day, as I say, we've got to look at the big picture. We're strolling to the title. Maybe the players have got that in their mind. They're human just like we are. And we all think we've won the title. And some days you're just not on it. And today was one of the days. It was poor. We all understand it was poor. And people are allowed to come on and have their opinion and criticise the team. But just remember where we're sitting.
Aye, I get that, mate, but I don't know if anybody's going to come on, Cairo, and tell us we played well today. Come off a mute, Cairo. Press the button.
Yeah, I get what Foxy's saying about one game being bad, and that's fine if it was just one game, but it's been more than one game. The last 3 or 4 games we've been playing pretty no great. No poor, but no great. That's the poorest we've played.
Voicemail.
But there is a problem that I see that's been consistent, and I think we've mentioned it all the way through here, is this lack of steel. We cannot put teams to the sword. We can't finish them off. We can't close out games. That is still a problem as far. I thought we'd lost that a wee bit, but it's back again, and that's the big worry for me. That's what's constant all this in the bigger picture part of it. So I would totally disagree with Fox on that, because I think that is still a failing that we need to fix, and it's a bad failing because.
I don't think the stats back that up, Cairo.
Well, look at the goals. Those 2 goals late against Benfica. Look at the way we've a couple of. There's been a couple of games where we could have finished it off. There are a couple of games where we've been lucky to win this last wee while. We've hung on.
But people would say that's the managing the game out, yeah?
Well, that's right, but I don't disagree with that. But if you're talking about a team that's supposed to be the best team in the league and the best team in this,
offensively, with a different team when Morelos isn't on the park, mate.
Well, see, that's you taking away. I think our midfield today was pretty poor. I think that's stemmed a lot of it, but there were too many players that were under par today. But even with that, even saying that, our passing was pretty poor as well, you could say. But the last 5 minutes of that game, we should have enough noise. We should have enough. We could have put on the worst 11 players we've got at Ibrox just to hold out for that last 5 minutes, and we should have been able to do it, and we didn't. That's what I'm talking about.
It was in the last 5 minutes, mate, with the ball at the edge of their box, passing it about with 80 seconds to go. We got to 80 seconds to go, and then Kent, who hadn't dribbled the whole game, decided to go in a dribble.
That's game management. It's that killer instinct. It's that, but call it whatever you want to call it. I call it grit. I call it something that says we're not playing good today, but we need to play. We need to play to keep winning this game. We need to play to hold that ball, and we just didn't do it. So there's something. I think that fundamentally through the Rangers setup, there's something just not quite right there. It might well be when you get your first cup or you get your first league, that builds that steel into you. I don't know, but just now it's missing, and that's what that fella was saying for France the other day, about talking about last year. We don't want to go back to last year, and I don't think we will. I think we're well in front, and I think we've enough there to win the league. So I don't want to put the crawl on it, but that failing's still there, and until we lose that failing, I think we'll be having days like this, and we'll all be arguing about what went wrong.
Alex from Wishaw's joined us. Afternoon, Alex.
How are we doing, Alex? Yeah.
All right, mate. All right. Disappointed in the way Hamilton achieved the result, but I can't take it away. Arguably, they were the better team, mate.
Oh, they deserved a draw. It wasn't for Al McGregor. They're probably facing defeat here. So when we balance it all up, the way we played, it wasn't really up to standard. But all credit to Hamilton. All credit to them. It was quite interesting. After Al McGregor, he got interviewed with Sky, and he was really blunt with how rubbish the team was. He was the man of the match, and he's not looking for any accolades or that. Then Stevie Gerrard just spoke here as well. I found that he was as honest as they come. He explains as well Hamilton a better team, and we're lucky to get with the draw. He'd also mentioned about the roof incident, so they're taking that on Monday. That's a definite now. So they're fighting that case. Hello?
Hello? We've also been joined by another caller.
Afternoon, caller. How we doing, mate?
Evening, everybody. Just phoning out after the result.
What's your name, mate?
I really didn't fancy David from Cumbernauld.
Carry on, David.
I really didn't fancy the look of Eaton today. He was rank rotten today. Really, really bad. I thought Kent and Hadji looked after the boy as well. I think you seen straight away once the midfield got a wee bit more of a change once Gerrard changed it a bit. It seemed to be a bit more penetrating, especially Ryan Jack. He seemed to have a wee bit more influence on going towards the attacking sense as well. I think it was just a matter of bad things culminating. I really don't think it was it's a terrible tragedy or anything. We've still got the points there, a point there. We've still got the 55 coming. It's just a case of taking it one game at a time, as Big Al McGregor said. But I think you've seen it in his own face that in his own interview that it was quite disappointing for him as well. I think he really did save us that match, really did.
I don't think anybody would argue that he was man of the match in the two sides. Going onward front three, mate, I'll be really honest with you. I thought Eaton was better than the other two, if that's in my opinion, but everybody sees this game slightly different. Alec?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The front three, you never really get nothing. I thought Hadji was going to come on it again. But no, as I say, all credit to Hamilton Accies. We knew exactly what it was going to be. Going to this stadium, the surface you're playing on. But we've got to be better in our performances. I mean, team selection, hindsight now, leaving Stevie Davis and Ryan Jack out the team, it just shows you the difference, and also how much they miss Morelos. But you think the players we've got is going to be good enough to beat Hamilton Accies? Well, that tells you a wee story. And as I keep saying, it's going to be harder getting out of this finishing line. And I'm not a damn squib about it. It's just in reality, these games are coming fast and furious, and we've got to get back to a wee bit of a better performance, enough to get out of the finishing line. But the team didn't. They never performed. Alan McGregor, as I say, he's outstanding, and he keeps us with defeat today. So that sums it really up.
I'll tell you what, get yourself on mute and we'll hear from Alan McGregor quickly what he had to say.
Alan, how do you sum that up in the end?
Rubbish. So, for most of the game, we were very, very poor. Worst I've seen us. A good bit of play for our goal, but apart from that, not a lot you can take for that.
What do you put that down to?
Don't know. Didn't look like we wanted to win the game. Hamilton looked more a threat than us, which is really disappointing. All credit to them though, but we were just so poor today.
We flashed a stat up during the game. I think it's the most saves you've had to make in a league game. So that just sum up what you said?
Sum it up. Sums up how bad we were.
Can you take any pleasure out of your own performance making saves?
No. I'd rather be rubbish and win.
What's the manager said to you in the dressing room?
He's obviously not happy. Near am I, so but just need to go on with it and look forward to the next game.
Do you think it's maybe you're that far ahead in the league? Maybe it's getting so close that you maybe think it's easier.
I shouldn't think that. You should take one game at a time and do what you need to do to win that game, and then whatever happens. Can't control anything else. Control the next game. That's it.
I appreciate you coming out. Thank you.
Cheers.
Big McGregor doesn't miss him, does he? Cairo, he's honest, and he's spot on, and you can feel he's annoyed.
Yeah, I think you can feel he's annoyed. I think he was raging by the sound of the way he was talking, controlled rage. I think, yeah, he's pretty ticked off. I disagree with the fellow who was on there a bit, and I thought Ian had a rough time today. That boy was coming through the back of him all the time. He was tackling through the back. He was shoving him and harrying him. He was getting the ball all the time basically he's back to goal and this guy was going through the back. It takes its toll that on you. I don't think he was getting much support. I'd have taken Kent off, to be honest with you, the first half rather is it. So that's a debate we'll have. Everybody's got their own opinion.
Everybody's.
Alan McGregor was certainly he certainly was enamoured with the way we played today, and I think that's right. I think you should be. I mean, he's man of the match today again. He's kind of a saved it, but I think he's entitled to have a go at his outfield players for playing poor.
Yeah. He was, but man of the match by a difference. Alec.
Yep. Oh, he was outstanding. Outstanding. But as he says, he's not wanting to be the man of the match. He'd rather, have better players on the park today and get the result. We went one in front. Albeit against on a play, but you're thinking, right, that's it. We've scored the goal. Just hold it out here. And for lose a goal with the last 10 seconds, it's puts a dampener on it. But the big wide picture, we certainly did deserve to win the game. So getting a point's no bad, to be quite truthful now. We just need to move on. Just need to move on to the next match.
David, the next match becomes bigger.
Of course. Hopefully this match will give. Hopefully the result of this match will give the players a wee kick up the backside to up the energy levels a wee bit. I thought the last few games we were lacking a wee bit of energy. Maybe it's the title that's in the eyes of the players and they're getting a wee bit distracted by that. But hopefully that this game will go to show you can't take your foot off the gas with anybody.
Yeah, I think that's the point that Fox you were making earlier on, innit? You've got to do it with the right attitude and arguably the right team, Fox.
Aye, look, on our day we played our best side, we're far and above anybody else in this league. But when we juggle the team about expecting to get results, it doesn't always work out like that. I was glad to hear Alan McGregor is as raging as the rest of us about the performance. That's the professionalism.
Hello.
We'll let Andrew come in.
How we doing, Andrew?
Hi there. Hi guys, how you doing?
All right, mate.
Not too happy at all with the result, obviously. I just want to pick up on a point on an earlier caller saying that he thought Itten had a terrible game. I don't think you can pick out Itten, for being absolutely poor. The boys hardly kicked a ball, to be honest. I thought it wasn't too bad, but I don't think you can point the finger at Itten. I think the whole team was poor, apart from McGregor, obviously. But I just don't find it fair that you can point the finger at Itten. To be honest,
I thought the whole team was poor, mate. And I'll tell you what, in my opinion, it's only my opinion, Andrew, out the front five, if you like, or the front six, the three midfields, and the three forwards, I thought Itten was the best of them.
I agree 100%. I agree with you 100%. Out of all them,
he was brilliant. I'm not saying he was brilliant.
No, I'm not saying he was brilliant whatsoever. But out of the front three, as you say, and the forward ones behind them, I thought he was the best at the lot of them, to be honest. And then when I heard an earlier caller saying that he thought it was ranked rotten, do you know what? I thought, well, I have to call in here because I don't think that boy should be getting the debate when I thought he had a good game, not a good game, but a better game. A better game than Mason.
Aye, that's football. Everybody sees it slightly different, mate. That's the beauty of the game.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Cairo, two guys watch the same game and see it differently.
Absolutely. That's the nature of the game, but we just need to dust ourselves down, kick on for next week.
Simple as that, mate. Simple as that. So the next game becomes massive for us. Alec?
That's it.
Alec?
Hello?
Next game becomes massive for us.
That's the big one, the next game. I David call it agree. See Joe Aribo, I've seen it all along. Joe Aribo's, to me, his position just outside the box. when he was playing down there and deep in midfield, that's no Joe Aribo. I certainly think that's a waste of time with that fella. He's like a fish out of water down there, you know. He's basically just running about the box area with the magic feet and that can make the opening. So we've realised what you caught, leaving Ryan Jack and Stevie Davis on the bench. If they'd have come on, it probably changed the game. Well, it did change the game, but playing them at the beginning, we're better playing our strongest team to try and get out of this finishing line. That's what I look at it now.
Yeah, we've been joined by a caller, the afternoon caller. Oh, he's left us. He'll be back in a minute, I'm sure. Hi, I mean, I don't know what the manager will think now. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. But you've got to maybe, people will be saying we should have started with our strongest team. Andrew?
I agree with that 100%. At the end of the day, we've got to get, as the speaker there just said, basically that winning and blah, blah, blah. We've got to play our strongest team, get this over the line, and then if you want to play a depleted team, then do it. But get that title finished, get it out of the line, and then you can maybe mix and match and whatever. But play with your strongest team, and I totally agree with that what the guy said just before me there.
Aye, you're right. I don't think a lot of people will think differently now. I'll go to Cairo with that. Cairo? No, he's gone. Fox?
Sorry, I missed the question there.
People saying start with your strongest. You were beating that drum right at the start of the show.
Aye, if we can get this league put to bed, that's the time to give other players a chance to maybe get enough games to get a winner's medal. I don't think it was a good idea just to rest people for the sake of it. People talk about Steve Davis as though he's an old man with a walking stick that can only play so many games. That guy's as fit as anybody else in the rest of our team. And he's a metronome here in midfield, and he should always play for me.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that.
Absolutely, folks.
It's a wise man.
Gerald, I've always heard me in the past, you always play your best team. We're in a time now where we've got gaps between games. A couple of weeks ago, we had no gaps between the games, and it was right to kind of leave a player out for one game. We should be playing our strongest team every game, and just now when their time to recover between the games. I agree with Fox in the fact that Stephen Davis, I don't know what a metronome is, but I'll look it up. But it's you've got to play the game the way he's played. And I think you've got to play your best team. Once you've won the league, once it's all done, then you can start to change.
Bed. I think Fox. I think Fox used to have one of them next to his bed.
That's for keeping the rhythm. Keeping the rhythm, mate. Keeping the rhythm.
No, you're in the rhythm method, are you, Fox? Okay, well done.
We'll be joined by a caller. Afternoon caller.
Good afternoon.
What's your name, mate?
Afternoon. Afternoon, Vinny.
That's fine. I'm just noticing your phone in there. They're all there complaining, doing this audio rubbish there. Look where we were this time last year.
Aye, that's a
fair comment. Look where you were this time last year, and then start criticising. That's the time for criticism. Don't worry, they'll get out of the line. They've got out of the line.
I don't think we could come on and say we played well today, mate, but could we?
No, but you don't want to play well every day. I mean, they're no machines. They're football players. Hamilton were desperate to get. They're fighting relegation. They're absolutely desperate for points. The last two teams that got points, they Motherwell and Hamilton. Both of them are desperate for points.
Aye.
Okay, they didn't up their game in any of the games, right? Because he's been up in the air. They need to get it back down to earth. 5 games will see the league finished. I don't know what the emotions about. It's just a wee, Jared just said, a wee bump in the road. That's all it is.
I don't disagree with you, mate. I think we will win the league title, but I think if you're critiquing that 90 minutes, mate, I don't think we could come on here and say we played well.
No, I said to them before, you're not going to play well every game. It's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. Even the great teams don't play well every game. And Rangers are far from being a great team. They know that. They're just building a good team. They're a good team, but they're not a great team. They're good enough to win the Scottish Premier League at the minute. But they've not moved up another level. That'll come again next year, maybe. But
Couple of players.
A couple of changes going about, a couple of boys in. But Gerrard needs to get his head on and play his best team at every game. And only get people in there when people are injured. If they're injured, fine, replace them. If no, play your best 11. That's the name of the game. It always has been the name of the game, and it always will be the name of the game.
All right, let's well said, Jimmy. Let's go. Albert's joined us. Afternoon, Albert.
Afternoon, chaps. How you all doing?
All right, mate.
Afternoon, Albert.
No good. Afternoon. My point is Kamara, Aribo, and Zunga in the midfield. No leaders in the midfield. Jack and Davis come on and showed you that they're leaders. They show you how it's done. So that's just one. You learn a lesson. So it's a lesson learned. Up front, Itten, Hadji, Kent, no leaders again. They're just young boys, know what I mean? So you need to. That's how Morelos getting suspended was so important. That's why they know, everybody in this country knows about Morelos. He leads that line for Rangers. You can take him out that line. Now, that's 5 games in a run, and we've lost that boy. We can't afford to keep doing this. All right, we're still going to win the league. There's nothing in any danger. We'll win the league. But the biggest disappointment today for me was Gerrard and the background staff. They really annoyed me today. Now, Hamilton done well. They stifled us today to stop our style of play. That's a fact. You've got to give them credit for that. That's what they're there today. The trouble we've got is, we weren't playing well because they're stifling us. What is the background staff doing? Where's it? If they're playing a tactic that's stifling us, we need to change your tactic so we get back in tap again. We just keep playing the same way.
The first half was very poor. They pushed up, and it was as if we didn't know what to do.
That's it. If they're in our half, my idea is, and I'm not saying I'm right, but my idea is, if they've got players, that amount of players up in our half, their half's empty then. So what are we doing with the ball in our half? So if they're not stunning it, if we get the ball over the top of them, and I mean over the top of them and their defence and get them turned, Kent, Itten, and Hadji running on it. Well, Hadji can't run. I know Port said the other day he's got speed. That's the one thing that boy's no-go is any speed. But anyway, apart from that, so you put it up in their half, and then you press them and keep them in their half. And when Davis and Jack come on, that's exactly what they've done for that 10, 15 minutes. They pushed them right back into their half, pushed the ball's getting played about. But no, what do we do apart from that when Zunga or them are on? We let them push right on us because we're passing the ball. And you're saying, look, you've got to counteract tactics against us, guys. We can't just go on with plan A again and say, well, that's the way we play, that's that. Now if they push on and stop us doing plan A, we're not going to change. We just do plan A again. No, it doesn't work that way. You need to look at their tactics. And 10 out of 10 for them the day, they stopped us doing our game. Our game's a passing game. We all know how good we are when we're on our game. So you're not going to get teams for now at the end of the season letting you play that way. They're all going to start doing this. So you need to then work out what do we do to combat their tactics.
I couldn't agree more, Albert. I think what they've done is they went with 3-5-2 and gambled that our 2 wide men would go deep. And then their 2 at the back was taking care of our 4, and then they had 5 against 3 in the middle. Sometimes you've just got to put the ball long and move your whole team up the park. You know?
This is a voicemail service for 077.
No, I've not seen the boy right, but if he's got the speed that we're talking about, that's the ideal game for him today. Get him on that wing and just say, don't you come back. We're just going to punt that ball right up to you, and you got the head down and go. Kent is too mincy at the moment. He's mincing about and dancing about and doing absolutely nothing. I like that boy. I really do like that boy, but he's doing nothing. Hadji's the same. Hadji flatters to deceive. He's been pointed out all season. He's a moments player. And when he does these wee moments, he's absolutely brilliant. But there's not enough of them. Big Itten, try to treat him as a target man. He's never a target man in himself. And he's not ready to lead the line anyway. I keep saying it. He is an impact player and he's good at it. So you bring him on. And see, like if Bruce started that game today and you brought Itten on, Itten would have made a big difference if we had brought him on today instead of starting him today. He's not ready to start. And it proved again today, he's not ready to start. All right, the park's nothing. You can't really judge him on that part. That's why I'll not judge Zungu. But Zungu never done himself any favours today. He really didn't. So the boy needs to take a hard look at himself and going, if I want to stay here, I'll really need to up my game. Really up my... That's if he gets another chance. A start, I mean, he'll go on maybe in the last 10, 15 minutes, but I doubt if he's going to get another start.
It was neat and tidy without influence of game at all, mate. Yeah.
I mean, that knocking the ball 5-6 yards left, right, no square all the time, that's easy. That's any average player can do that. That's nothing special about that. But he get pushed after the ball a few times. He lost a few 50-50s as well, which I'm saying, and he was poor in the air as well. And I'm going, what is it you're doing, son? What are you trying to do? You need to show more than this. This is no good enough. But I'm not going to judge the boy because it's a terrible part to play in, and it's the conditions as well. So I'll cut him a bit of slack, but he really, really needs to up his game. That's not good enough.
Welcome to the EE voicemail. I'm sorry, but the person you've called is...
Carry on.
I think everybody's seen that. I think everybody's seen that today. Nobody's getting on the boys back. Nobody's getting the knittings back. But they really need to... Some of the players really do need to come to the party now. Really, honestly, need to start turning up. All this kneeling and stuff needs to stop. Like Kent, he nearly scored. No, score, son. Like Hadji, he nearly get that ball. No, get the ball through and get it, create a chance. Big Etno, I'll cut a big slap because he's not a target man. I felt sorry for the big man. There is something about the boy. And if you play him right, which I'm not quite sure what way you play him, but if you play him right and give him the chances, that boy will score. That boy will score. No doubt about it. Roof's off the pace. He come on and he's tucking out his own feet again. You're getting
that Cairo, the old bear. I still don't think Roof looked fit. Yeah, you know.
No, he doesn't. I don't know why he's I don't know why he's no fit now. All right, it's game fitness, well, I know that, but he's tripping over his own feet, and that's a sign of unfitness. Know what I mean?
We've been joined by Domanic. Afternoon, Domanic.
Good afternoon, lads. Just as disappointed as everybody else.
Disappointed in the performance, mate. Knowing the season, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Aye, I think nothing's really changed. Before the game kicked off, we needed six wins and a draw. So now we just need the 6 wins, didn't it? So, but it was really disappointing. Disappointed with the management team actually with the start, which we've all covered basically. You start your strongest team, you get the game win, then you make the changes. Then in the game management, in the last kick of the ball as well, you're saying to yourself, hold the ball, just keep holding the ball, and we did do it for a few minutes. And I think it was Kent who made a wee run, then we lost the ball. You say, so what's Tav doing about that park? And again, I think Davies should have just fucking took a guy down, know what I mean? And we took our chances in a free kick, but it wasn't to be, so we move on, didn't we? Know what I mean? Dust ourselves down. The park was horrible, the weather was horrible. Coming out the car park at the start, the team coming out a different door and all that, it was just awful, wasn't it?
Aye, but if McGregor saves that one and pushes it round the post right to the death, mate, we're on a different mood. It's funny football, isn't it?
But we've still 3 points, ain't we then? Whereas, as far as I'm concerned, we've stole a point.
That's the mark of champions. Don't have it with me.
Yep. And Walker gives his kiss of death. You know what I mean?
Aye. We need to go out and play with it. We need to go out with the right attitude, mate, and maybe arguably what you're saying. This is not the time to give people minutes. These are no dead rudders yet.
No. And I think we underestimated Hamilton. And maybe he looked at the pitch and he thought, like, it's not going to be suitable for Roof and Jack come back for injuries and stuff like that, and we don't want to risk further injuries. But you know what? This is a business end. The points matter here. Every game matters, no matter who we're playing, and we just need to go out full strength. I did think Roof should have started in front of Atton, as much as he was pretty poor as well again. But there we go. You know what I mean?
The Marlon makes a good point. That is a good point. This is the business end. It's as simple as that. This is the business end. Time for experiments, and let's see if this will work. It's not on. It's just not on. Get the job done, and then you can fart about and muck about once the job's done. Know what I mean? But get it done first. So if he had to learn that lesson, which I don't think he had to learn, but he needs to take it. He needs to sit there and go, well, can he do that again? We really need to get the strongest team out here. Get the game won. And we need to start scoring. And we see all this, like the St Johnstone game, missing the 4 sitters. That was disgraceful. You're sitting going, what's that all about? You need to start scoring. Scoring, it's all different. Just score the goals. The day we didn't create nothing, but score the goals and it's all different. But We need up the game. We really need up the game.
We've been joined by a caller. Afternoon caller. Afternoon caller.
Afternoon.
How we doing, mate? What's your name?
It's Stevie B.
How we doing, Stevie?
All right, mate.
All right. What's on your mind,
mate? I'm a bit disappointed after the day's result, mate.
You're not alone, mate. You're not alone.
But I agree with everything Albert says there.
I don't agree with him.
We've got to start these games with our strongest team. We've got to go and win the game first.
I think that's a point. It's been consistent for a lot of people. Albert, you want to come back?
I mean, it's as simple as that. I know we've got big games coming up, but they're in the future. The game of the day was the game of the day. So as Bridge keeps pointing out, you play the game that's in front of you. You don't play the game on Wednesday or next week or the following week. You play the game the day. We're playing today, win the game today. Now, don't get me wrong. It was just one of the days. Okay, I'll accept that. And I'm not going to start falling out my tree and saying, well, this, that, and the next thing. Because I still believe we're a good team. I still believe we are a special team. Don't get me wrong. But there's criticism needs to come your way when you stick with tactics like that. And it's not all about the team getting criticised. It's definitely Gerrard and his backroom staff need to take a portion of this. Because you need to say to yourself, what did you instruct them today when they've set up the way they've set up? And if you've just said, play your game, well, that's not good enough, is it? Because let's be honest with it, Hamilton should have won that game today. There's no doubt about it. They should have won that game today. And I'm mighty glad they didn't.
Stevie, when you come, mate?
I totally agree with that, mate. I hope Big Helander had one of his poor games at the back. I didn't think the big man done himself any favours today. Kent's got blistering pace, gets into that box, but he's just not got to finish. Just doesn't finish.
There was a couple of times where Kent could have done better. I don't know if you picked up on that, Kilmarnock.
Aye, he gets himself into good positions and he just kind of fluffs it at the last minute, doesn't he? And we'll expect better from him, which is disappointing. But as I say, the whole team should have been good enough to beat Hamilton. But sorry for us on here going on thinking again through our heads. And these guys need to go out and do it. You know what I mean? And as pressure on them just now as well. We probably don't see as well. We're all celebrating it now, but these guys still need to get through the paces, turn up at the games and do it. You know what I mean? So but there is a bit of pressure. You know what I mean? And I'll take 1-0 for the next 6 games every day of the week just to get enough points now on the board.
The one thing I was laughing at, see that Hodgson. You looked at that Hodgson today, when he played for us, he could barely trap a ball. He was like Messi today. You're going, where is Trumpet? Where was all that when he played for us?
He'd more touches a day than he did in his whole career with Rangers.
Funny enough, I thought the guy he was up against was very poor today, Barisic, even though he made the goal for us. I thought his performance, apart from that couple of crosses, but defensively very poor.
But you need to make the space for Barisic, Ox. That's a fact. He doesn't make space for himself. His ex-manager explained that to us. That when they had him, what they had done was set the team up so they made space for him. And without making the space, he's pretty useless going forward. But if you make the space, a different player you've got altogether. And that's what's wrong. We never made any space. Their tactics, Stokes is doing it, don't get me wrong. Their tactics were spot on to foil us up and mess our system up. And it worked. But what do we do to combat that?
Albeit, if we turn up the day and play as hard as them, I mean, a caller on 2 or 3 callers ago was saying that other team were up for it. We weren't up for it. You know, they've got to give them credit for being up for it. We should be up for every game as well. We should. We turn up, even if we're playing badly, we turn up and we go at them. We beat them because we've got better skill. Today we got away with a point. We played really poorly. We didn't have the same grit. We got a lucky goal and we couldn't see the game out. That's bad. That's bad play management on the field. I agree with what you're saying about the team that went in the field.
You're probably right about the fighting, but maybe it is that. Maybe it's just that. Just they're playing these sort of tactics. We up the fight to the equivalent and better what they're doing. Fight them harder. That you might be right, but again, if we show any aggression, if we'd have showed the same amount of aggression, we'd have had at least 6 yellow cards and probably 2, definitely 1 player sent off a day. We don't get away with that aggression.
Don't doubt it. The number 16 should have been at least booked anyway. I don't know if he did get booked, but he was multiple. And I don't think Kitten get the serve. I think we've been a bit unfair with it.
There's only 2 yellow cards in the game. Only 2 yellow cards in the game. The boy in the first minute and Hollander at the end.
Yeah, so that number 16 got away with murder. Nitton's getting booted. I mean, that guy's coming into his back all the time. As you say, he's not a front man. He's a player that gets the ball to feet and runs on, and he's a good hitter of a ball. When he's playing as the up front man with his back to goal, and that player's continually going through him, it's a hard game to play that when you're not used to it, and you're quite inexperienced at doing that. Whereas Morelos is roughly the same age or a wee bit older, but that's the game he's played all the time. He's always used his strength getting into folk, so it's a different game altogether. But I think we're being a bit unfair with it and playing him out of position like that. And then you've got his suppliers. You've got Barisic, you've got Ken, you've got anybody else that's passing the ball. Hadji. He's the only one time they kind of played was when the two of them were running off each other. But when Nitton's got his back to the ball, that guy was just coming through him all the time. It was outrageous. So I think we've been a bit unfair Nitton. But generally, I think you're right. We all played poorly. So I think that's maybe down to too many changes. Don't know. Maybe
plus the other team. Plus the other team, Carol. Stevie, you use the last word.
Yeah, I agree with
that. Stevie?
I thought the day their goal, Tav was coming up the park. I think one of your midfielders should be dropping in there. See when he's bombing forward, they should have a wee bit of cover there, but in the right hand side. You know what I mean? One of the midfielders should drop into that space. And the guys just had to run right down that left hand side.
Listen, over to Fox for the last word of the day.
Look, we've all had a day of failure and depression, but just think how the rest of the league feels when we're 21 points clear. It's onward and upward, and soon time to lift this title. And I would like to thank all the people that never get through the day, all the callers.
We were joined by Andrew, David, French, Joe, Ian, Jimmy, Lackey, Tam, who got cut off, we couldn't get him back, Cairo, Alex, Albert, Dermanock, Stevie B, and lots of regular callers who we didn't have time to bring in. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. We'll be joined by the one and only Travel Room. Take it away, old school boy.
Through the years of this Lord.